Here's some before and after photos of the kitchen before we gave it a facelift. A little bit of paint made it look really good, modern, up to date. So in this video, I'm going to show you my techniques of how I do this. I use some products. There'll be some links in the description box down below. Feel free to go check them out. And feel free to use the comment section. Tell me what you think about this video and what we did. Hey, welcome back. We're going to be resurfacing, painting, priming and painting these cabinets using our Black & Decker screwdriver, multi-angle. All the cabinets are going to be done the same way. First, we're going to start with the doors. Once you take these screws out, you're going to mark the cabinet door. And you're also going to mark the hinges. Right inside here, you want to mark number 1. That's the first one we took off. And we want to put a little piece of tape over that so that we can still read it after the door is primed and painted. On the inside of these hinges, you want to put number 1, top. Number 1, you just put a B for bottom. Now we're ready to take these screws out. It's a good thing to remember as well, keep your screws separated, because these smaller screws, they went in the door. The longer screws went into the face of the cabinets. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take some number 1 steel wool, go over everything. This is really important that you do this, because your kitchen has got a lot of grease on it. Got a lot of grease in the kitchen stuff. Then you're going to go back over it with some double aught steel wool, smooth out any kind of rough edges you just put on it. We'll come back with some tack cloth. So the tack cloth, the way a lot of people do it is they'll take it out and they'll just do it like this. That's not the correct way to use a tack cloth. To use a tack cloth, you want to open this up all the way. Don't hold back. Want it all the way open. Kind of aggravating, but you got to get it all the way open for it to work. Like it's designed to work. It's supposed to catch everything in it. So you open your tack cloth up. A lot of people don't know this. And then roll it up in a loose ball, like a loofah, and then just gently go over everything. Next, got everything set up out here in the carport to hang it. So let me just show you why I'm using steel wool, because the kitchen cabinets are so nasty with cooking and frying chicken and whatnot. And there's a lot. See that spillage right there? There's a lot of buildup here on the sides. Just this right here actually came from around the sink. This is the spray at 33,000, low volume. It doesn't take hardly any air pressure to work this. And what we're using to cover or to put our primer on is an oil-based stain by Zinsser. Yeah, stain blocker. All right, we're gonna knock the rest of these out. Yeah, it's nasty out, man. I couldn't paint with that spray gun. Actually, it stopped raining right now, but they're still calling for flash floods, so we had to do it by hand. So we painted the cabinet doors, and now I'm fixing to put the hinges back on. I wished I could have done it with a spray gun, though. It would have been much better finish, but it still looks pretty good. So now to do the cabinets over here on this side, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a disposable roller, one that you can just throw away. Plus you need one that you're going to keep. One of them is for the oil-based paint, and one of them is for the latex paint. You need a good paintbrush, a tray, painter's tape, and you need some steel wool or some light sandpaper. I prefer steel wool because it's cheaper and it lasts longer. Number one, pretty aggressive, and the double aught, you can even go down to quad aught, the 4-0 steel wool. And you're gonna need a tack cloth. First thing we're gonna do to get some nice sharp lines is we're gonna tape this off. Our kitchen's freshly painted. That's why you see this right here. We went ahead and primed, or actually got down here with the paint. Nice crisp lines. Not only do you need it right there, but you need it right here. Plus, to keep this from being seen, you need a piece right here. Because when you're painting this, you're liable to get it right there, and people can see that when they open up the cabinet. Go ahead and get this side. Piece right down here. Also, you'll need to get this. So when you're painting your cabinet, you want to get this board right here, but you don't want to get this board right here. Same things here as up there. You want to put some painter's tape right here because you're going to paint this board, but not this one. All right, on this one, since you can see this one, when you open up the cabinet door, put a piece of tape here and a piece of tape on top. And you shouldn't need one on the bottom because nobody can see that when they open up the kitchen cabinet. Same thing here or there, and one on top. You just continue on the whole process, getting everything with painter's tape. You even want to get places like this because it's so hard to get in there with a paintbrush anyways, and you've already got this wall freshly painted. You don't want to get any paint on it, so just go ahead and put you some painter's tape in there. It's a little tedious, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. We're going to tape all that off just like we did right over here. And that's the thing about doing these cabinets that you'll see here in a minute. The reason why I'm going to use that steel wool is to get spots like this right here that we've already painted that's kind of thick and heavy, and knock them edges down on those brush strokes. But then it's also to go over this, because when you're cooking, you're splattering, and this steel wool will get the majority of that off. I don't know if you can see that dust coming down right there, but there's dust coming down. Yeah. So I'm going to go over this whole thing with the steel wool, and then this right here is going to just smooth it out. Smooth it out because this right here is pretty aggressive. This is just going to smooth it on out. Get it smooth. Then you come back and you tack cloth. So if you're wondering how much tape you're going to need, I've done this whole kitchen, this side and that side both, and that's what I've got left. That's all you need. Stir it up real good. This is some good primer right here. It's an oil-based primer, stain blocker. You want to use this if you're going to paint over any kind of stained wood. You don't want that to bleed through. Plus also there is some still oil residue. It's got to be left over on this right here, no matter what I do to it from cooking over the years. So you need this right here to block those oils out. If you drip this on the floor, you want to get it up as soon as possible, or it's not going to come up. It's oil based. You got to put some paint thinner or something on there. That's why I always carry a paper towel around with me. All you want to do is just get the corners with a paintbrush. All right, all the corners. It ain't got to be pretty, because we'll just come over back over it with a roller. All you need with this is just a thin coat. You don't need to put it on thick. All it is just to block what's on there. Just a thin coat. When you're using this and you come across the corners like that, you'll end up piling up some paint right here. Keep an eye on that. Make sure that you don't get any runs. And not only look at it once, but look at it several times, because you could look at it one time and not see anything. Before you move on to something else, look at it. Make sure that there's no runs there. Okay, we've got the cabinets primed. Now, while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and start painting the cabinet doors, getting them ready. By the time I get through painting them, it should be time to put some paint on these cabinets. You see that I've got this right here. It's marked number 1. So you know when you're painting, you see somebody with a palette, or what is it called, a palette? Yeah. And they put their paint on it and they're dabbing and they're brushing. You know, artists, right? Well, that's the same thing you do here. First thing you want to do is get up in those spots. See there? Get up in there with that. And if ever at any time, because you'll be using your paintbrush, setting it down, using a roller, setting it down, paintbrush. If at any time you notice that it's not fresh anymore and it's getting kind of gunked up and dried up paint on there, just wash it off. Dry it. You don't have to be dry. Just wash it off with water. It don't have to be all the way dry. Just get the excess water out of it. Go back to using it again. So, yep. You just gotta make sure that you get it up in the cracks. This is just gonna get one coat. The other side's gonna get 2 coats. Now I primed these with that spray it gun. I was able to get all of them primed. Oh crap. I was able to get all of them primed before the bad storm started coming through the other night. With the spray gun. And then it went crazy outside. But now you want to take your paintbrush and just go around all this one more time, just in case your roller pushed some excess off in there and it won't run on you. It won't run on you. It won't run on you. And you also want to check your sides right here, because I can see it already. Just lightly go over your sides. You can do it with a paintbrush, it doesn't matter. Just get all that excess off where you were just rolling it. Now you don't have to put any more paint on it. All you're going to do now is just lightly go over it just to blend everything in. And these rollers have the tendency to build up paint right here and it'll leave a line. So what you're doing right here is just lightly smoothing everything out. You want to just finish everything up where your thumb is at. That's it. Now I went ahead and painted all this, but you do it the same way that you do the primer. You get up in the corners, get all that, and then you come back and roll it. And double check for runs in all your corners and on the side right here where it could build up. Next, we're right in here. And this is what's so good about uh, masking everything off with painter's tape is that you don't have to worry about going so slow cutting stuff in. See this? Look at that. So fast. No worries, no issues. It's going to take 2 coats to cover up that primer, so don't worry about putting it on thick. 2 light coats, just like you did the primer, a light coat of primer, 2 light coats of paint. When you're doing it, you want to get in as close as you can with this roller to take care of your brush marks. Now, I didn't thin this paint out, but I was helping install some central heat and air one time. There was a painting contractor in there, and man, he had those doors and stuff looking like glass. I said, "How'd you do that?" And he said, "Well, I thin it down first. I thin it down and then paint it." So if you want to thin the latex down, use the directions that's on the can. I believe this right here says like 8 ounces of water per gallon, uh, but I didn't thin this down. Show you what it looks like as you're doing it. Well, that plate's getting paint on it. I got primer on it. Now I got latex on it. I want you to notice how many times I did the dip the roller back into the paint. None, because it didn't need it. Just a thin coat. You want to go back and look at the edges. Make sure there's no paint buildup on them. And there is. There's always going to be somewhat. And that's when you come back with a real light sweep over it to just blend everything back in. All right, finishing it up. We'll go to this side. First thing we want to do is go here. And that gets the beveled spot right there. So you want to pack it up in the grooves there. 'Cause it's rolling time. Rolling time. Farmhouse kitchen. Let's go around it again. Get any kind of excess off that may have built up. All right, that's it.